Hi everybody, I'm really sorry for the delay. Okay, I'm just gonna get to it, okay? Because today's episode of Bone the Beautiful was great, and I hope I do it justice. We had one main story point today, but I'm gonna get to that later because that was the main crux of everything. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about everything else around it, and then I'll get to it. I promise. Okay. All right. I forgot to do the hashtag, but Mariel Hilaire gets the hashtag. You'll find out why in a couple of minutes. Okay. All right. So today's episode of Bone the Beautiful did not disappoint. We see Finn in his office still grappling with what he should do about his mother and his wife. Because, as I've said before, Steffi detests Sheila for obvious reasons, but she detests her, right? So now Finn is put in the awkward position of defending his mother to his wife. And he doesn't know what he should do, and he doesn't know how to go about it. So then we see Lee, Naomi Matsuda. Okay, she's great, but we hardly ever see her. I don't know why. That could be another video, but I'm not going to get into it at this point. Okay. Then we see Melissa, Sydney Bullock, and another girl. I don't know the actress's name, but her character name is Jessica, another waitress at the bar, right? Okay, so they're just talking. And they're talking about what happened with Will and Electra. And Jessica is freaking out because she says, why did Electra let him go? Did she not know what she had? She had Will Spencer. Will Spencer. And so Melissa's like, yeah, I know, but what can you do? And then Jessica says, well, you should go after him. I mean, you should fight for the man you love. Okay. So then he comes up to the bar and they're talking for like 2 minutes. And then he leaves because he doesn't want to ruin the friendship between Electra and Melissa again because he feels like he ruined it the first time. But she tries to convey to him that she's just as much his friend as Electra's friend, but he leaves anyway. Okay, so then she chases him, or doesn't chase him, but follows him to his house. And she's talking to him. And okay, to do a visual representation, as I like to do, okay, Will is, let me see, let me get the logistics right. Will is over here. And Melissa is over here, right? But they get closer and closer and closer to the point where their faces are like this close together. Okay, like they could kiss each other. They're so close. And here I am, a male fan, going, kiss her already, kiss him already, and then end. I'm like, man, really? We had 5 minutes, well, really like 7 minutes of build up for nothing. I'm like, oh man, really? I, I was the epitome of bummed. Okay, but getting back to what's her name? Muriel Hilaire Daphne, right? Okay, so to catch everybody up, shortly, um, Carter and Daphne finally got married. Carter finally got married after saying he'd never get married, right? Okay, on February 13th. The reason I know the date so well is because this year, Valentine's Day happened to fall on a Saturday, so they made up for it by having it on Friday. And I was the happiest person on the planet to see Carter get married in that episode. Okay, and then 2 months of I want a baby, I want a baby, I want a baby, I want a baby tomorrow, I want a baby. You get the point. So I was annoyed because I'm like, all right, We get the point. You want a baby. You both want a baby. Got it. Great. Could you relax? Okay. Now, coming to now. So we're talking 5 months later. Okay, exactly 5 months later, right? Okay. So then the reason why Dr. Lee was brought in was because apparently Daphne has another doctor, but she had a family emergency. So then Lee had to cover for her, right? So then Lee says, before Daphne even comes in, says to her son, I have to tell somebody some bad news. And I'm like, oh no, this is going to be bad. And then, I already knew it was going to be kind of like whatever, but I didn't know it was going to be bad, right? And then Steffi, okay, so then I want to say something here. I want a special mention for Lawrence and Victor as Carter because he wanted to be there for the doctor's appointment. Let that be known. He wanted to be there, but she said, don't worry about it. Go to your meeting. I'll take care of it. So I want that to be noted here, okay? He's not a bad husband, not a bad partner. He wanted to be there. Okay, so then Steffi says that she'll drive Daphne to the appointment because Daphne thought she was going to be late, right? Okay, so of course they make it. And Finn says he has to go see some patients, so then he leaves. Then Steffi, or the doctor, was concerned about if Daphne wanted Steffi to hear about whatever's going on with her, right? But then their best friend says she can talk. So then she proceeds to tell Daphne that she has a condition called POI. It's premature ovarian something. It's a real condition. I just forgot what the I stands for. Apparently, it happens when you're under 40. I don't know. This is the specs that I heard on the TV. Okay. Says about 39, and you have infrequent cycles and all the stuff. And that's what causes it. But then a side effect of it is infertility, meaning you can't have kids, right? So imagine yourself. At that moment, I felt bad for Daphne and any woman who has that, because imagine you waited your entire life to find the right person. You finally do. And then you want to have kids. And then the doctor tells you you can't because you have this condition. I was heartbroken for her. And I wasn't even in the thing. I was like, oh my God. I almost cried. Like literally. Wow. Because at first I was like, okay. But then when I found out that she can't have kids, and then that means that Carter can't have kids unless they adopt or something. I know there's a workaround, but she can't have biological kids. That was devastating, even for me, man. So Muriel Hilaire wins whatever award because I felt bad for her. Like I felt so bad for her. Oh man. Okay. While I'm talking about both here, I told you I'd talk about the daytime nominations. Okay, so Thorsten Kaye and Scott Clifton are in for leading actor. And then also Hedda Tom is in for leading actress. Woo! Hedda Tom got a nomination. Thank you, so Jesus. Because, okay, you know who I'm pulling for in lead actress? Oh my God, I am pulling for her so hard. Because that woman can act her off. Okay, so then, like I said, I really think that Neil is going to get together because their faces were like this, but there was no kiss. I was like, ah! messaged me in my house, and I almost screamed at the TV. Not because I was frustrated with the people, because I was so frustrated because, like, when you want something so bad and it doesn't happen, you're like, oh, come on. That was me. So, besides being really sad for the character, for the other character, I was really like, I was kind of like not upset, but like, you know what I mean? Like anticipation and then nothing. I was like, oh man. But, but we have 3 days left this week. So who knows what's going to happen? Who knows? But man, oh, by the way, I know that this is a like far off, but if Muriel Hilaire doesn't submit for a nomination next year, then something's wrong because I'd seen Alone. It's like, wow. Yeah. Okay. Bye, everybody.